Good afternoon, everybody. Time for another BrickBucks update. Once again, my name is Jim, and this is where we talk about Lego investing and reselling. So we're going to be doing my best and worst return on investments for 2020. And as I was preparing this, this video is kind of geared towards potential Lego investors that are kind of on the fence. They've been either lurking on forums or on Facebook groups or just watching my videos, and they're trying to think of ways to finally get off the fence and start buying Legos. So this is geared towards them. Now, as I was putting this together, I said to myself, this is actually valuable information. I probably should just stick this over for the premium members. But I said to myself, just this one time, go ahead and do a best and worst ROI. In the future, I will be, just sending this exclusively for Patreon members, and I am going to. It's by this time it'll already be up. A spreadsheet of all the SKUs that I sold last year and what all their return on investments are. So just putting it out there. We as long as I've been doing this channel, I've really never done a hard sell for Patreon, and because here's the deal, you're either going to want to be a Patreon or you're not. But you should go ahead and consider, if that's something that would be the right fit for you. Last week we had a great time. We had masterclass where we taught people how to get ungated from Amazon. So you may want to go ahead and check that out. Now let's go ahead and dive right into the presentation. I wanted to not include SKUs that I didn't have a lot of. For example, I think this time last year I sold a couple Lego Ideas Ecto 1s. There was still a couple lingering. I didn't want to include those. I wanted to make sure that these were sets that I had, maybe at least 20 or 25 of. So those could be real hard numbers whenever I analyze my spreadsheet. And I also, did do two sets that were not retired. They were just in short supply during the pandemic. And let's just talk about them real quick. So the first one is the Lego Architecture Skyline London collection. And this is a set, if I recall, I bought at least 100 of these. There were probably like 135 of them, 2 Decembers ago or around this time last year. And the goal was that I was just going to go ahead and continue to keep on buying them because, Jim, this wasn't on any retirement list. Why were you buying it? Well, the reason why I was buying it early is because you can't buy, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Lego at the same time. In some cases you can, but that opportunity really didn't present itself for London. So I purchased around 135 of them, and I sold out. My return on investment was 140, and this is a set that you could still purchase, I believe, on discount right now. So that's something that I'm going to continue to keep my eye on. But I do think this time I will wait until I catch a whiff of retirement news, and then I'll go in deep on that. Now the second and the last set that I sold that is still available during present time and was unavailable during the pandemic was the New York City Skyline set. This it only did 94% return on investment, but this was kind of a no-brainer. As long as I was going to be getting more money than what I put into it, and then I'm able to get a quick return and continue to invest more into Lego with that. So I went ahead and took advantage of the opportunity, and I do have quite a few still sitting on the shelf, which I don't like. I think I have close to 300, and I'm not even touching anymore until I get a whiff of retirement. You've heard me talk about Funko occasionally, and I'm really wanting to get into Funko more. And when you look at the return on investments, you'll see why. The reason why I wanted to include this in a Lego presentation, if you want to call it that, is because the ROIs were so big. I was like, I really need to uh, share it with people. And also, one of my goals in 2021 is to master Funko a little bit more than what I have it at right now. And when you look at the ROIs, you're going to understand why that is. So the first one, man, look at that. That was the Funko Wednesday Adams Family Limited Edition. I had, I think, 50 of these, and I'm going to be honest. I'm still new to Funko. I think I've been doing Funko for maybe 15 or 16 months, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, is this really going to do well? And I'm like, well, we'll see. And I do know, and I've talked about this a little bit. You know Halloween Lego sets do well, and if you have a Lego Halloween set, sometimes you could get two bumps during Q4. You could get it around Halloween time and also around Christmas time as well. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Wednesday Adams, and I'm glad I did. I got a pretty decent return on investment on it. Now this right here, this if I was going to be stacking this along with the Legos and include this into best ROIs, this would have been my top 3 ROIs of last year. This is how well Funko is doing. It was the Funko Pop Disney Frozen 2 Elsa's nightgown with Ice Diamond. Sorry, I'm laughing. It's I'm dealing with Frozen stuff, and that's something I would never have thought that I would do. But again, I'm happy that I would do this. This is a Amazon exclusive, so it was only available to Amazon. So I knew that this is something that would be a lot more popular than some other Funkos out there. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and dive into the worst performing ROI of last year. We're doing the top 3. This is my third worst return on investment. This is the Star Wars Last Jedi Elite Petroleum Guard Battle Pack, and it still has a return on investment of 133, which is not bad. I always talk about having return on investments that are over 100%. And I also talk about return on investments that are not just winners, but we want to get the 1% of winners, because if you get that 1% of winners, you have the highest return of investment possible. This didn't make the cut though, but it was still fairly decent. Came in at 133 return on investment, and I really don't regret purchasing it. Here we go, folks. I am so glad I no longer have this set. This set was lingering for such a long time. This is the Lego Architecture Imperial Hotel. Return on investment was 127%. I'm so glad that I am done with this. This was the first Lego Architecture set that I went deep on, and this is the only Lego Architecture set that I view as a stinker. Right? If you were to go ahead and do your due diligence on Microsoft Excel and map out all the return on investments over the years for Lego Architecture, you're going to see that almost all the other Lego Architectures are somewhere around 200%. But this is a set that I was happy to see the last of, and I'm just moving forward. Now here's the thing. Absolute worst return on investment was the Lego Friends Sunshine Catamaran. Now I champion Friends sets, and not only do I champion Friends sets, I champion Friends boats, and I was torn with this. If I had to do it all over again, I would have held on to it a little bit longer. I probably should have waited till Q4 a month or two ago to release it, but it was during COVID. It was lingering a little bit longer than what I would have liked, so I just went ahead and let it go. If I would have held it until Q4, I'm pretty certain my Imperial Hotel would have been the worst return on investment, and this probably wouldn't have cracked the top 3. So I'm still going to champion, friend sets, and you'll see why a little later on. So let's talk about best performing Lego return on investments for last year. My third best was the Lego Speed Champions Ferrari. set number 75886. Return on investment, folks, 275%. That is amazing. I did a video on Speed Champions, I want to say back in August, where, this is a theme that I looked at seriously and I just love. Now, when you do your research, you will find that there's a ton of people in Lego architecture right now, and there wasn't anybody in Lego architecture 4 or 5 years ago like I was. I see this being the next Lego architecture. I already see a bunch of people piling into Speed Champions, and they're gobbling things up. But right now, this is a great return on investment, and I'm going to continue to go in on the Speed Champions whenever I can. I want to say that my whole time for this was probably around 13 months. So that is not bad, folks, to have a return on investment of 275% in 13 months. I would ask, what stocks do you know that do something like that? But with the recent GameStop headlines and all that stuff, I'm not going to ask that. But you understand what I'm getting at. So my second highest return on investment. This is great, man. I bought a lot of these. The Lego Superheroes Batman vs. the Riddler Robbery. I even built this with my son, and he loved it. We spent like the entire evening just playing with this. Great set. My favorite theme is Batman. It's not necessarily superheroes, but it is Batman. And I just think it's great. Every time that there is a Batman set that comes out and it has the Batmobile or something like the Batmobile in it, I go ahead and I take a look at it and I try and decide if that's something that I would like. And it paid off. The return on investment on that is 300%. Now, before we get into the number one best return on investment for last year, I want you guys to take a couple seconds and try and guess what that is. This is a theme that I talk about occasionally, not all the time, but I champion it. And this is a set that I really don't believe a theme that a lot of people go into because my YouTube views for these videos are always down whenever I put it up. So I hope I gave you a little bit of a hint. If you get it right, if you don't already know what you're doing, you're getting kind of close to knowing what you're doing. There it is, my friends. Best performing set for myself of 2021 is the Lego Friends Olivia's Hamster Playground. Love Friends. Set number 41383. Return on investment 401%. Love it. I had a lot of these. I would like to give you a couple pointers on Friends right now, but there are some things that I need to go and keep close to the chest. So that is it, my friends. I would love to hear your comments down below. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you like the videos I put out, the best thing you could do to thank me for that is giving us a thumbs up. Once again, folks, I'm Jim with BrickBucks.net. Always go out there and get it.